U.S. counterterrorism officials asking why are ISIS fighters driving so many similar trucks and where are they getting them from?
Hillary Clinton has described already the meeting in the White House over 2 years ago. Everyone in the national security team recommended arming ISIS.
You are basically saying that even in government at the time, you knew those groups were around, you saw this analysis,
Sure.
and you were arguing against it. But who wasn't listening?
I think the administration.
But what we're trying to do is help Syrians to fight for their own country. And we've been spending a lot of money, a lot of effort to try to help do this. So there's an opposition there. The opposition is doing very well. And if they're not serious, then we will help the opposition more.
Intelligence officials in Pakistan say a local commander from the terrorist network Islamic State has admitted receiving funds transferred via the U.S. He made the confession while being interrogated.
Today, we learned that the same group may now be in possession of a deadly cache of American-made firepower Stinger missiles.
I think it was a willful decision.
A willful decision to go support an insurgency that had Salafists, Al-Qaeda, and
Well, a
Muslim
willful
Brotherhood.
decision to do what they're doing, which you'd have to really ask the president, what is it that he actually is doing?
As I've said before, this aspect of our strategy was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province.
Now, U.S. military aircraft have dropped ammunition in areas held by ISIL terror group in Iraq. Now, according to volunteer forces who are fighting the terrorists, American helicopters dropped boxes of weapons in Yathrib and Balad districts in the Salahuddin province.
In the last 8 years, Obama completely sold us out to the Communist Chinese, the Saudi Arabians, and others, and launched a program all over the Middle East, Africa, Central Asia, Far Asia, you name it, to put radical jihadis funded by Saudi Arabia as well as NATO in charge. It's now been leaked. Even the New York Times is having a report on it. Obama wanted ISIS to grow, leaked audio, and that's addressing the Syrian opposition. So that's just an example of what we're talking about.
We saw that Daesh was growing in strength, and we thought Assad was threatened. We thought, however, we could probably manage, that Assad might then negotiate. Instead of negotiating, you got Assad. You got Putin to support him.
Now, the public didn't know what was going on, but our military did. They began 5 years ago, and Cy Hirsch has now broken this last year. We first broke it, but he confirmed it all. We had the direct sources from NATO, from the CIA. I mean, from low level and high level, we had it from every angle.
When you cross him, he's going to fight you to the end. It's a war to the end. He's fighting ISIS. He's fighting Al-Qaeda. He's fighting al-Nusra. These are people that hang in Garat. Some of the horrible stuff that happened. He's had as many as 200 of his soldiers executed at one sitting by these people. So our Joint Chiefs decided some years ago on the basis of intelligence reporting that there really wasn't any option, that there really were no moderates. Although the White House keeps on talking about there are moderate groups in the opposition. There were at one time, but they were quickly taken over and cleaned out by the more radical jihadists, people who believe in Sharia law. Some of the groups we advocate as moderate have already made it clear that if they ever took over the government, no Christians or Alawites, that's a minority sect, Shia sect that Bashar Assad and about 12% of the people living in Syria belong to, none of them could be allowed to live in the country. They were talking about genocidal cleaning. After Libya fell, we began to funnel stuff that, in an earlier article, I called the rat line. A lot of arms from Libya into Turkey, and from Turkey, the gentleman running Turkey, Erdogan, is a total, complete supporter of ISIS. I don't think there's any question of that, even though we deny that. Our intelligence shows it. So what I wrote about is the fact that 2.5 years ago, the Joint Chiefs decided, well, they can't convince the White House and the State Department with intelligence. They're just going to begin to do what they can do.
So the Russians basically came into Syria because the U.S. military said, we're telling Obama if he doesn't back off, we're going to release the fact that we know they've been funding him, giving him missiles, you name it. Benghazi was the last straw. Russia said, okay, we're going to come in. Trump is right. Hillary and Obama are the founders of ISIS. They founded it because it's really Al-Qaeda to confuse the name.
Donald Trump and Alex Jones, the conservative conspiracy theorist and operator of the website INFOWARS, which seems to be a place where Trump gets a lot of his information. Obama as the leader of ISIS.
ISIS is honoring President Obama. He is the founder of ISIS.
And again, to re-emphasize the quote that was contained, that leaked audio of John Kerry, here's the quote. And we know that this was growing. We were watching. We saw that ISIS was growing in strength, and we thought Assad was threatened. So they knew ISIS was growing in strength, but because it threatened Assad, they let it happen. Of course, we know they also gave them the weapons. He continued, we thought, however, we could probably manage that. Assad might then negotiate, but instead of negotiating, he got Putin to support him. So again, brazen admission that they knew ISIS was getting stronger and that that was beneficial because they were going to overthrow ISIS before, of course, Putin and Russia came along and absolutely obliterated ISIS. The one thing that the Obama administration admitted they had no plan to do, and again, warned ISIS ahead of time before the bombings, refused to bomb the oil tankers. Absolutely bombshell revelation. And of course, what all that